Here we are going to learn how to add a node to a stack. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and set up a method. Initially, when I started off building out this the stack in the node, I mentioned that the main two methods involved with stacks are a push and a pop. So the push is to add a node from the to the stack, and then the pop is to remove. Those are the only two methods. So we're going to start off with the push method, and that's exactly how we're going to call it. This push is going to take in a value as an argument. Let's go ahead, and there we go. All right, so first things first is we're going to create a new node. So we have our node here, and that's what we're going to use to create our node, and assign it to a variable called new node. All right, and we're going to pass in that value argument into this here. All right, so now that we have a new node, next step is we're going to have a condition. If stack size is equal to 0, then we're going to make the bottom the new node and make the top the new node. Okay, so if this dot size is equal to 0, and equally so you could also do if this top is equal to null or this bottom is equal to null also as well. But I feel this is more explicit and in saying exactly what's going on. All right, so if the size is 0, the stack, then that means, well, this new node that we want to push in is going to be the new top and bottom. So we're going to do this top is equal to the new node, and this bottom is also the new node. All right, so that's that. And then now we have the else statement. Else, make the current top point to the new node and make new node the top. Okay, so now this means that if we reach this else block, that means that currently as it stands, the stack does have at least one node that currently exists in our stack. All right, so in this case, what we want to do is we essentially want to, so let me actually show you guys something here to visually see this. All right, so let's say, as I mentioned, this else block, it means we have at least one node in our stack. So if I did stack and then push, and let's say I started off with 17 here. All right, I want to push 17 into, if I pushed in 17 to the stack. So imagine this right here is the container. All right, so this right here is the top of the container, and this is the bottom. So if we pushed in 17, as I said, it's going to be pushed from top, and then 17 will be now the first node, which would be 7. It would be over here at the bottom. So now this is the only current node as it stands in here. So now, since we're in this else block, it means that, well, we do have a node existing here. So in this case, what we want is 17 to point to, or 17, the next property for 17 to point upwards to the next incoming node. So if I was going to push in, say over here, 22. All right, so right now, in order to this else block, what we want to do is have this 17, the pointer point to the next one coming in, 22. So the way we're going to do that is like this dot top, because this is currently the top, right? This is currently at the moment the top, and we want its next property to point to the new node. All right, so by this statement right here, simply the statement right here, essentially allows that connection now from 17 to 22. All right, but not at this moment, the 17 is still considered the top, when realistically, right, this this 22, it should be the new top. So the way we're gonna have to do that is this dot top is now the new node, just like that. So now this 22 is the top. All right, and there you go. So that's the way we're gonna. So that's that, and then finally we're gonna exit that if else statement and increment and return the new stack size. So we're gonna do return plus plus this dot size. So by adding this plus plus here in the beginning, it's gonna allow us to increment the size before we actually return the size. All right, so increment first, and then we're gonna return the new size. All right, so that's that. And the reason also that I wanted to return this size, the size for this push method, is because typically, let's see here. Yeah, let me do this here. All right, so if the push method for in these programming languages, like say like JavaScript here, if we look here, the array push method, the common what it returns is, look here. So the return value for that push method is a number representing the new length of the array. So for that reason, I wanted to pretty much have the same return. Kind of return data for a push method. So I'm returning the new size of this push method, or the new size of the stack. All right, so that's that. Let's go ahead and test this out. So we have, let me go ahead and start with this this push. Oop, let me redo that. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna push in 17 first. All right, so currently if I do like this is our stack, and 17 should be inside. Let me go ahead and run the code. All right, so you see we have 1, the size of the stack is 1. If I do st, which is a stack, let's go ahead and see what we have in it. All right, so the 17 is currently the bottom, and it's considered the top node because it is the only one. But now let's go ahead and stack push 22, or let's do 50. Let's do 50. So if I do that, I'm essentially pushing this 50 here to the very top. And if I now do st push, no. Yeah. All right, so here, so if I refresh this page here, let me go, oh no, refresh. All right, go back here. I'm going to run the code, and now look, now we have 2 here, 2 in the stack. And if I do st to look at the stack, oh, all right, so let's see what we have in the stack. All right, so currently the bottom is 17. As you can see, 17 is the bottom, and the top is a node with the 50 right here. Now, if we look at the bottom, expand the bottom node, you see that its next property is pointing to the 50 right here. And if we were to expand the node with the 50, you can see that its next property is pointing to null, because it's the top. There's nothing else that it's not pointing to anything because it is the top. All right, so now we have a functional, our push method is working, and we tested it out to ensure that, and that is it for now. I will see you in another lecture.